Watch this.
The Israeli military has cracked down on movement between Palestinian cities in the West Bank since the Israel-Hamas ceasefire in Gaza took effect last month.
She makes it sound arbitrary, right? But this AP report doesn't tell you why there's a need for extra checkpoints in the West Bank. 1. Hamas and other terror groups have been ramping up tensions since October 7th. 2. The Iranian regime has increased its efforts to smuggle in weapons and cash. And 3. Under the ceasefire agreement, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees, many serving life sentences for murder, have been released. So it's clear, there's a need for tighter security. And since 82% of terrorists released under the Gilad Shalit deal returned to terrorism, there are legitimate security concerns here. But she goes on.
Checkpoints have always been seen as a source of daily humiliation among Palestinians. Israel sees them as necessary for its security.
This was never about humiliation. It's purely about security. After waves of deadly terror attacks, especially in the early 2000s during the Second Intifada, checkpoints were set up as a direct response to prevent terrorists from crossing into Israel. The Associated Press deliberately leaves that history and context out.
This is what Palestinians right now are going through all over the West Bank as Israel uses checkpoints to help clamp down on Palestinian militants.
Terrorists. They call it a clampdown, but skip the details. Without that context, the AP makes it look like Israel is simply punishing ordinary people for no reason. Remember, these checkpoints were set up in direct response to terrorism. If that terrorism never happened, there would be no need for checkpoints. And the only reason there are more checkpoints now is because there are more terrorists on the streets. But the AP won't tell you that.